Hey, what's up, VC, and happy Friday. This is Justin, and thank you, Canada. I mean that with all earnesty, as dorky as it sounds. There's been so much great music that's come from Canada, and the reason I'm making this video today is because I've been revisiting one of my favorite bands who formed in Vancouver, British Columbia in the early 90s. That band is Superconductor. They get labeled as alternative rock, but there's elements of noise rock, punk and metal in it, and other things, always with a melodic backbone to it, despite the fact that they had 6 guitarists and 2 bassists along with a drummer. They managed to keep it together and have a beautiful melodic backbone in spite of all the noise and going throughout it, in the volume. And I have my theories on why that is. I'll explain a little later in the video. So I was introduced to them by a friend with their 1992 EP, Heavy with Puppy, which I don't own, but that's what introduced me to the band. And then in 1993, they released their first LP on Boner Records called Hit Songs for Girls. Boner Records is a East Bay, Oakland based label. They put out people like Melvins, MDC, groups like that, mainly punk. So there's the back of it. It is on black vinyl with their own custom label, so that side has a band name with the track listings. The other side has a cat and the word washroom on it. As far as how these pressings sound, they sound great. There's no noise when there's not supposed to be noise, and you can crank these records during when there's supposed to be noise. It sounds good. So that's Hit Songs for Girls, and probably the song that I remember most and always stands out for me is Shaved Temple. The reason being, if you were old enough in the 90s, during the grunge era, there was a certain type of haircut a lot of people had. You go to your hairdresser or whoever, you'd want to grow it out, especially the bangs, and then you would have your hairdresser, lift your hair up and shave underneath. So I think that's why the song was called Shaved Temple. I've tried to track down lyrics for it, I haven't found them, but the chorus has always stuck with me. It's very simple. It just says, my shaved temple is shaved, all right. And it's just a propulsive, rocking song. It's one I like to put up to 11 and crank over and over. Back then, I had a CD player, a little portable thing, so I would get in my car, which was an '84 Nissan Maxima, probably my favorite car I've ever had. And so I'd have a portable CD player go into a cassette adapter into the car's cassette player, if you remember that rig. And I would just drive around cranking that and lots of other music, me and my friends too. It's a lot of fun. Hit Songs for Girls. There's, as far as I'm concerned, all killer, no filler, this album. Whoops. So, moving on, in 1996, they released their second and final LP. It's a double LP, and that LP is called Bastard Song. Front, back. Also on Boner Records. Pretty simple layout. Again, black vinyl. Really simple cream color labels with the name of the album, the band, and then side number on each. This album, according to them, some interviews I've been able to find, is a concept album about the son of 2 gods who is having a rough go at it, but he meets a stripper, I guess, another god who is a stripper, and falls for her. This one, they combine the same kind of elements as their classic sound, their first album, but they also added synthesizer throughout this album a lot. Amazing thing, they said they recorded this pretty much live. Very little overdubbing. And so if you can imagine 6 guitarists, 2 bassists, and a drummer all in a studio pulling this off live, like, that's just great. Their engineer, producer had to be on it. And it sounds great. You can make, I mean, very melodic parts, again, combined with elements of noise and punk. They pull it off. They're always able to pull that off so good. And I think a big part of why that is because their frontman and one of the guitarists is A.C. Newman, Carl Newman, who after this band played with a band called Zumpano for a while, which is pretty straightforward pop rock. And then after that, he went on to form New Pornographers, so who are still playing to this day. Kind of a really great Canadian collective of musicians. Only consistent members in that band still with it are Nico Case and Carl Newman. And at one point they had Dan Behar of Destroyer with them. So just, I don't know. Carl Newman went on to do some really great stuff. After Superconductor, he continues to. So I saw them when they were touring this album. I saw them in Atlanta, Georgia at the Cotton Club. Kind of a medium-sized club from what I remember. I drove down there by myself about 3 hours, and it was great. I don't know what else to say about it. Powerful. You can imagine 6 guitarists, 2 bassists, and a drummer going at it all at the same time. Potential for it to just go off the rails, and it would, but they'd always bring it back. It's another thing I like about their sound, and the sound in particular when bands can pull it off when it's almost threatening to go off the rails, but it never quite does. That gets my goat. I really like that a lot. Trying to think what else I can say. Have I left anything out? This is my 3rd attempt making this video. First 2 times I tried it with my DSLR and technical difficulties, so back to the phone. I'm going to try this. I think that's all I have to say about Superconductor. I've got my LPs through a Discog seller. It goes by the name of Stickfigure Distro. So look Stickfigure Distro up on Discogs. Good prices and a really good selection of inventory. He's fast shipper. Packs them nice, all that. And also shout out to Inherit Records. I think they're in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. And so Bobby Rayfield is the owner's name. Really nice guy. Bought records from him before, and obviously t-shirts. So shout out to Inherit. So I hope you all have a good weekend. And happy spinning. See you soon. Oh, thank you to the new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And hit the bell. Alright. Bye.